crazy how this could be any river. This is the Rappahannock in Virginia. I've spent the better part of my life on rivers. When I was a kid, I grew up on the Connecticut River in the Great South Bay in Long Island, and my friend Eddie and I would spend as much time as possible along the river and along the bay, hiking and following trails through the woods and swimming. And then when we moved to Virginia, we lived right on the Lynnhaven River, where I didn't spend nearly enough time canoeing, but I did pretty often. Sometimes with my dad, sometimes with a neighbor, Karen, and then by myself. And then there were different rivers throughout my life, whether it was the Charles, the Susquehanna, the San Rito, and other rivers around this country. And we all connect to something. For me, for some reason, it's water and rivers. And so it was a little, it wasn't really that surprising when I got to college and was not exactly fitting in to dorm life. I didn't drink that much, and the drinking age was 18, and everybody else seemed to enjoy drinking. And so I spent my time out on the Allegheny River, and or would borrow somebody's car and head up to Niagara or west to Chautauqua, and found a little peace there, as I do here. So, I have a new book out, and the first half of the book takes place on the Allegheny River in western New York. And it's about a time in my life that was very significant. I was away from home, 400 miles away from home, and trying to figure things out. And someone I had met some years earlier kind of re-entered my life after 3 years, a little bit more, away in Africa. And he grew up on a farm not far from college, and he would come back and spend most of his free time down there with me, sleeping on the floor of the dorm room that my friend Steve and I shared. And we ended up planning a trip for him on the Congo River. No one had ever done that alone. A lot of people had done it, but 100 years earlier, Henry Stanley had done the entire Congo, but not alone, with hundreds of people actually. So we set out on a quest to to canoe the Congo River alone, him, and I helped him. And we spent the next several months planning that trip, every detail, every intricate detail, and my life came alive, finally. And it was the first time I remember really feeling like an adult and being responsible, having a plan. This book is not about Joe. It's not about the Congo River. It's not about the Allegheny, and it's not about me. It's about being 19 years old and what it's like trying to find yourself, trying to discover that new world when you've just spent 18 years under the shelter of a parent or two in a home where your responsibilities are very limited and your freedom is pretty gracious. And suddenly you're thrown out on your own, and it's trying to handle the responsibility of being able to do whatever the hell you want, along with the responsibility of choosing a path. And sometimes it's a little overwhelming. You have faculty members and friends in the dorm, and counselors and advisors and parents and older siblings, and they all want to know what your path is and where you're going and what you hope to do with your life. And it's a bit overwhelming. Since those days, I have stared at 19-year-olds for 35, 37 years now, and I've watched the changes of 19-year-olds. In some ways, they're a little bit more responsible. In many, many ways, they're a lot less responsible, a lot less independent than we were. We had no technology. This book is not about that. The book is not about a throwback to the good old days. They weren't the good old days by any means. But it was a form of growing up when you had to make decisions on your own because you couldn't pick up a device and connect to anybody. You know, we had one payphone for 90 guys and it was often broken. And so we were on our own up there. I remember coming home for the first time after 4 months away. And I was so looking forward to getting home because the dorm life was just killing me. Until I got home, and then I could not wait to get back to the dorm life and that freedom when nobody gave a damn where I was at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was wonderful. And it was dangerous, but it worked out, sort of. So, Curious Men Lost in the Congo is about being 19 years old and about trying to find yourself at that age and what it's like looking back from 65 to that age and how we negotiate our lives today, very often based upon decisions we made then. Book does not have a happy ending, but in some ways, there's no other way for life to go. We make our choices, and both Joe and I made our choices, and we learned to live with them. And in doing so, we become a little bit of everybody that way, and everybody becomes a little bit of us. And that sometimes we move forward with determination and precision, and other times it's like somebody pulled back the lever and let the pinball of Bob go, and I just bounced through the next 35 years. That's kind of what happened. It's a good book. I'm proud of this book. It took me years to write and throw out and rewrite, and it was disheveled, and then I thought I had it right, and then the vast majority of it nobody would care about, so I got rid of that. And at one point it was 400 pages long, and at another it was 50. I've settled on a version of the book that focuses on what it's like to be on your own for the first time. And at the same time, it's about the love of two friends and how innocent we were and how you don't know it at the time. You think you're being mature and responsible and you're doing your homework and you're finding out everything you need to know for whatever your goals happen to be. You've done your research. And then you look back some years later and just shake your head and say, my God, we were so young. It was significant. It was a time when one wrong mistake was the difference between having villages named after you or never being heard from again. I hope I did my friend justice. And I hope I did justice to what it's like to be 19 years old. It's good to sit near a river and think about how we've moved through life much like a current. Right now it's very still out there. And I hope I don't get that still.